for me was one of my formative um, moments, possibly, or transformative moments, was when I was lucky enough, and it was such an accidental process that I ended up training to become a full-time youth worker in the 60s as a result of a government report saying we ought to have more people working full-time, working with young people, the whole process of social education. And I was 22, 23, got accepted to do this one-year training course. And in the college library, there were just 120 students. Fabulous, fabulous experience where we had one guest lecturer a week. The rest of the time we were in groups, seminar groups, tutorial groups. So that was a really exciting process because I began to find through that process, I think, my own voice, my own feelings or attitudes or responses. But what I was going to say was in that process in the college library, I found some books by an author whose name I then proceeded to forget for 7 years, but who talked about unconditionally prizing the other, striving to understand the other as if one were them, being authentic in the relationship. And I based my complete 5 years of full-time youth work in the East End of London on this geezer, using an East End parlance, because I'd forgotten the name. But those books, more than any youth work books, were powerfully influential to me. I then got a job teaching in Jamaica and based my teaching, probably naively, but my conventional teaching, or trying to be a teacher after being 5 years of youth worker, it's not an easy transition. But again, based on those principles of relatedness. And of course, that I'm talking about the writings of Rogers, but there was something about Rogers' inherent faith in the wisdom and potential of others that I think underpins the rest of the work I've done in my life, but certainly in terms of the particular context that Dot and I are talking about tonight. And for us, it has its currency, or its current currency, in the supervision courses we're now running. That's the medium through which we really strive to offer a real opportunity to the participants of unstructured learning. But of course, they've come because it's about supervision. But we really want to involve them in, well, what is it you'd like to think about? What is it you'd like to learn? What should we, and so we start from that principle. I was going to say a couple of other things. They're now less important because I think I've established something about, in a way, for me, where those origins have never gone away. And I suppose my working life has just given me lots of increasing evidence of the power of unstructured situations, and particularly, of course, when they're going well, it's evident. When they're not going well, they can be really hard work and, negative group dynamics and so on. But they have such potential for all of us in which to explore how we relate and what we know and how we can exchange our learning.